If I can get this camera to focus on me, we'll be A-okay. If you're here with us, thank you so much. Welcome to Unapologetically D, a podcast where we have real people with real stories, and the goal that I always have is to make a real, true impact. And I am so blessed and honored to have Mr. Julius Mosley with me on the show today. Julius, welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you having me on your platform.
Yes, I am so excited to get into this conversation. Unapologetically D family, just so that you are on the same page with us. Julius and I met through, well, social media. I mean, how can you not meet people through social media nowadays? And I was just looking into his story, and I thought, I have a son and daughter, but I really respect and am so interested to dive into one of the things that we're going to talk about. Creativity is huge in this world today, and Julius himself is an author. So I am going to let Julius do a quick little intro. We're going to go ahead and get into some questions, talk a little bit more about his book and some other creative avenues that he has shared with the community. Julius, thank you again. Welcome to Unapologetically D. Could you please give the people a little introduction to you?
All right. Well, my name is Julius Mosley. I am the author of Strong Roots. And I'll just give you a little background of how I got into being an author. My background, I've always just worked a job and worked multiple jobs at a young age. So I just kind of grew up working jobs, never got into going to school, going to college after high school. So just working, I ended up driving trucks for a few years, and it was just like a meaningless job to me. Not disrespecting truckers, but I just always felt like it was something that I should be doing something with passion. I was missing a passion in it.
Mm.
So after truck driving, I stopped truck driving for a while, got into telecommunications, just started to want to progress in my job.
Mm-hmm.
So self progression in my job led to just me progressing as a person. Like it just led into so many avenues of learning about self awareness, emotional intelligence, and then after that, I actually got back into school. I started a leadership program through a certificate program at the University of Denver, and I completed that. And I fell in love with it. I kept going because I was learning so much. I ended up taking an undergraduate, finished that certificate, and now I've been working since then. I've been in a bachelor's program, just working to complete my bachelor's in leadership and organization studies. So that's kind of how I got into writing the book, just uh, thinking bigger than my organization, thinking bigger than my school. I'm doing so much research for these papers. And I'm like, man, I'm just thinking of ideas. I always wanted to write a book. I was like to write a children's book with affirmations, and that led into me writing the book, doing the research to actually write the book with real meaning and real science behind it.
I love that story so, so much. And, I just feel like I'm just going to put it out there. God works in mysterious ways
Right.
because some of the things that you have said in just this very brief little bit of time that we've been talking, I can 100% identify with multiple things that you said. Being in a position where you feel like it's just there's more for you out there. The
Right.
telecommunications piece of it. I was in data communications myself for 26 years, a very long
Right.
time. Things have changed since then. But because of being in that industry, it's the type of industry that I feel as though you have to continue to learn. And like,
Right.
I like to consider myself a sponge, right? Put me in a room with a lot of individuals that also want to learn, but that know more than me. So I can soak up their knowledge. And then I
Right.
want to be in rooms where I know more than other people. It's just that I feel like we are here to be able to help elevate each other, right? And that's
Most definitely.
to do it is by sharing your experiences and your knowledge with those surrounding you and then vice versa. So
Right.
I
Most
love
definitely.
this. This is going to be such a great conversation, Julius. So let's just talk about you and somebody meeting you for the first time. how would you introduce yourself to them? Who
I
is
mean, I would introduce myself honestly, who I am. I'm just an open person. I love to learn about people. I
Mhm.
love to learn about different cultures. I mean, like everybody knows, I love to travel. I cook. I'm a big fisherman. I mean, I just love to be out and outdoors, travel, meet people. I love organic conversations. So I would just let them know that I'm a real people person.
Mhm.
I feel like my passion is to help everyone be their best version. So if they needed me in any type of way, I'm always here to help.
Yeah, no, that yet again, something else that where would you say is your that I can identify with is wanting to help people, however which way you are doing it,
Right.
wanting to help people. So a traveler, is there a favorite place that you have gone to that you would say, I recommend you to go take a vacation here?
I would say to relax, I would go to the mountains. Mountains are really beautiful. I've been to the Smoky Mountains, uh, mountains in Southern California, Utah. I mean, just driving trucks. Really, I've been all over the United States. So my next step is actually, stepping out the country. But just
Yeah.
the mountains for peace. I really feel like it's really peaceful.
Being able to just kind of be grounded and connect and be away from it all, that right there in itself, beat me being here in Seattle, I have the ocean and the mountains within like a pretty even amount away from,
Right,
me. I'm like right in the middle. So yes, going there and being able to kind of just submerge yourself into nature. I'm a
right.
nature girl. Don't ask me to hike now, nothing now, Julie. Don't ask me to hike because I got a fear of heights, but I definitely love being in nature. So a very open individual. And I'm gonna guess that a lot of these things that we talk about contributed to you becoming the author that you are today and kind of how you write, the way in which you write um, your books. So, okay. So when we very first started talking, I know one of the things that I noticed when I was doing research was that I mentioned in the beginning of the show that you have other creative avenues in which you can connect with the people. So one of
Right,
those avenues I know in your journey has been through radio. So can you
yeah.
just talk a little bit about that and kind of what got you to that point and what the concept was and just share a little bit with the people about that?
Right. Yes, my radio station was called YAG Radio, and the YAG part, YAG, was stood for Ye Are Gods.
Hmm.
And my goal of that whole station was to just put uplifting music, music with high frequency music,
Hmm.
only good news. So it would just be a radio station that would only have music that would uplift. It would only have good news. It would just have just a feel good station with high energy and high frequency. It was my goal on that. And it's
Yeah.
something that I still have in the back of my mind to bring back. I still have all the collection of music that I have, but it is time consuming and it's not something that people were jumping at. So I feel like it's something that I keep in the back of my mind, but I will come back to it one day.
Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't even know that that platform existed when I was doing research to learn more kind of about you and your history and your background. And I was pleasantly surprised that that is even a thing. Now, Julius, you never know. Like I said, God works in mysterious ways. So down the road, Julius and Dee on the radio together,
Right.
bringing you all the good energy because I am all about that as well. So even though it's in a different way, I mean, I've always been a fan of music for many
Right.
years. I was an instrument player, I was in the band, but a fan of music, all different types of music as well. Aside from the podcast, I also am a cycle instructor, and in cycling, that is a difficult thing to accomplish. You have to make sure that your music is catchy, but that it also is uplifting. And I try to find music that has a message, a
Oh
positive
yeah.
message in it. So I can identify with you there. And there's enough negativity without you even have to go around the corner on everywhere you turn nowadays. So having something positive, that is like, yeah, there needs to be more of that. I'm totally loving that idea. Yeah.
Most definitely. The music these days is getting worse by the day. I mean, if you listen to some of the rap that's out right now, it's terrible. It's really negative.
It's really bad, and you know how if you have if you listen to music on a certain platform, like for me, I use Spotify, or sometimes it depends, YouTube Music too. But when Spotify brings you back the things that, like now they have that AI DJ, so
Mm.
it will bring you back things that you were listening to, I don't know, some years ago or whatever, and I'm like, dang, you were listening to that? Okay, I do try to find the clean versions of a lot of things out there because I can't where I teach. Now, if you own your own cycling studio, you can do whatever you want to do.
Right.
But I personally don't listen to music that's like every other word or something like. So I don't want to play that. Besides, it's against the policy in the first place. And I just don't feel good about it. I feel like what you put in is has so much to do with like just your everyday
Right.
overall being and how you are and how you operate, what you hear and what you see. So I'm all about the positivity, and my music selection has changed drastically. Like I told my parents, I was like, look, back in the day, the music that my mom and dad would allow us to listen to, no secular music, you're not listening to that, this is what you're listening
Right.
to. And I say, but mom and dad, like the Christian rap music, like there wasn't really a lot of good selection. There wasn't even a lot, it had to be like gospel, right, which I'll get down with any day. Now though,
Mm.
you can't, you really can't tell the difference. It sounds just as good or better because the
Oh,
message in the music is better, right?
yeah. Right.
And honestly, too, like I can understand more of it because there's some music out there, Julius. I'm like, um, I may even need to run that back because I don't really know what exactly that was that they just said. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I'm loving that positive, a radio station that is putting out nothing but positivity. I love that, and I feel like we definitely need more of that. So the high frequency music, you said that. What does that mean in your own words? Is that just simply being something that's positive, that's going to uplift people, or is there something more that goes into that?
Well, I mean, well, it's a lot that really can go into it. I haven't really done a lot of research, but with certain rap, there are certain frequencies they use in that music that have certain effects on the brain. And
Yep.
I do know also I listen to like classical music in my free time sometimes when meditating and just to relax too. Those
Yeah.
do positive things to your brain. So
Yep.
I would put like a lot of music that I would do the research in that had like certain frequencies in it that are positive and had positive lyrics in it. And then I
Yeah.
would look for a lot of songs that just had overall positive messages, like uplifting messages. And
Yeah.
even with some love songs, even with some R&B songs, they would portray like they have a positive message, but they really almost have like a depressing message in some of them.
Yeah. When you take the time to listen to it, it's crazy, isn't it? A lot of hidden messages in the songs that I grew up on, not because my parents let me listen to them, but because I found a way. I found a way to do it even though they didn't want me to. Or, as I got older, because I was born in the 70s. So um, I was, by the early 90s, I was 18. I was,
Right.
I was able to do what I wanted to do. So that is very true. I'm going to do some research myself because I did hear something about classical music and how it has a very positive effect on
Right.
the human brain. And
Most definitely.
the studies have proven that listening to it over a certain period of time can make drastic improvements, even for people that maybe might deal with any type of like mental struggles and
Right.
things like that. So, yeah, because when you think about it, what it takes an individual to be able to put together music like that, that is some talent. Like,
Right.
that's not something that you just are learn over. I mean, there are some prodigies out there, right? But the majority of people, so it's just very refreshing because it's
Right.
just so uplifting. And you know that the people that are in there making that music, whether it be the piano, the violin, or whatever it might be, like they are serious about their craft. And I can
Right.
respect that. I mean, I was in the band.
Mm.
So, I again, something that I can identify with. So we talked about a little bit about the radio station. Obviously, you said, that's something that is still an idea and could potentially come back. And you never know, Unapologetically D family, maybe down the road is Julius and D bringing you positivity. But something else, like I said, being an author, you talking about your journey to becoming an author. Can we talk more about your journey into becoming an author and your actual book, Strong Roots, which family, I will drop the link below, is available on Amazon. And Julius, I'll let you fill in the blanks on if there's any other way that you can get your book.
No, it will be exclusively on Amazon, and you should see this cover once you go into Amazon. If you don't type in Strong Roots, you can type in my name, and I'll supply the link to you as well. I think I've already done that. But just to talk about how I got into the book, I've always wanted to try a children's book that actually had meaning to it, that the child could actually take something away from it. And this is just the first of a series. And the reason why I started with father and son at first, which it could be used universal because a lot of people are already doing that. Because I am a father. My son is at his first year at Grambling State this year. But I
Oh,
just thought about something.
congratulations.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much. But
Yes.
yeah, I started to think about something that I could have used and something that I could have used as a child and as a father. So I was thinking, and I've started using affirmations myself because once I started actually going to the school, I started saying affirmations and I actually feel like I spoke one into existence. And I'll tell you this real quick. When I first started going back to school, we had a program which was tuition was covered and everything. And I jumped in head first and I just kept saying to myself, I said, I am going to be the face of this program for my company. And I kept working, went through a couple certificates. Now I'm going through, kept going until I had enough college credits. I started with 0 college credits. I had enough to join a bachelor's program after I did those 2 certificates and an undergrad certificate. So I kept going with classes until I did that. And then before I know it, I had an email from the program that put on the benefits for us to fly me out to Denver to speak in front of an audience. So I
Yes.
actually kind of worked my way and spoke that into existence of being the face of my company. I've represented my company on the main stage for that.
Yes. Yes. Congratulations to you. Because you know what? Sometimes people will really, really want something bad and they might pray and they might write it down and want to manifest that and want to speak it into existence. But in the same breath, they don't want to put in the work that
Right.
you have to put in. So
Right.
it's like
You have to put the
you
work in.
you have to put the work in. Like you said, you were speaking it into existence, but you were doing these things to better yourself and further your education
Right.
while saying these things and wanting for these things to be what they ended up becoming. So
Right.
that
Most
right
definitely.
there just says so much about you and your character because I feel like sometimes people will want to count themselves out when they get to a certain stage in their life,
Right.
or they would rather stay in a comfortable situation and just stay in a certain job, even if it doesn't feel like what they should be doing, because that's the safe bet, right?
Right.
Stepping outside of your comfort zone or doing something after the suggested age range in which you should do it is
Right.
huge. Like, I just always feel like there is no timeline on when you can reinvent yourself. There really
Not
is.
at all.
There really isn't. And when people realize that and have the courage to really step into their power, it's such a rewarding feel. I mean, I'm going to be 50 years old next year. And I wasn't expecting for the things that took place professionally to take place the last 5 years, but they did. And guess what? I don't have any control over that. But what I do have
Right.
control over is what I choose to invest my time and energy and efforts into now and moving forward. And that is how
Right.
I ended up doing Unapologetically D because I've always had a passion for people and I've always wanted to connect and felt like people have a story to tell. but they just
Right.
don't have a platform in which they could do it. And so this has really been like an opportunity for me to meet somebody like yourself, Julius, honestly, that like I wouldn't have met you. We live in opposite parts of the country. How would I have
Right.
met you if we weren't? Social media has some very good things. It gets on my nerves, but it has some very good that I can appreciate very
Right.
much. And this right here is one of those things. So Strong Roots, a book, something that you didn't have when you were growing up, something that was positive affirmations, things that you were doing yourself, and having
Right.
it be a series, a part of a series. That's really very reassuring. I mean, so unapologetically, D family, you heard it here, and I'm sure you will hear it again. This is just the start of something very, very amazing, and I can't wait to see because, like I said, I have a son. Um, he's going to be 30 next year, but he's going to be having kiddos.
Right.
You know, he's going to be having my little grandbabies. And so I just it's something that I think I'm going to pick up your book. I'm going to pick your book up
Appreciate
because yeah, I just really feel like it doesn't really matter at what stage. Affirmations and how you can interact with the people that you love that might be younger than you, children,
it.
um,
Right.
ways that you can encourage them and uplift them. I don't really think that it has to necessarily be, like you said, you started off with father and son. It could be mother and daughter, or mother and son, or maybe it's an auntie,
Right, most
you know?
definitely. And that's why I want to come out with different versions of it in the series, and it'll have one, something for everyone. And
Yeah,
like I said, like it's well planned out. I have affirmations in it that's for emotional, that'll help with build emotional intelligence, that'll
mm,
help build decision making skills. Like when things don't go their way, like I'll read one for you right now.
please.
All right, so in the book, this is the affirmation that reads, when it's hard, I pause, I breathe, and I try again.
Mm,
That is the affirmation. Then following that, there's a father and son moment. And this is a breathing exercise. So when things don't go your way, it's automatically taking you into a breathing exercise. It says bubble breaths in through the nose and out the mouth, with like blowing a bubble. So it is like slow, like they're blowing a bubble in the nose and out the mouth. This is a
hmm.
breathing exercise. And then the science note behind that is slow breathing lowers stress signals and helps attention come back online.
Yes, it
So
definitely
that's
does.
just one of many, and I have like some breaking down to decision making, where you have an activity of why you made this choice. I mean, it's very well thought out, and I took my time to actually plan this book out to make it beneficial to the child.
Which is yet another reason why I feel like it will be beneficial to multiple different
Right,
people. Yeah, multiple different people, because you, as the author, really taking your time, and then also the story behind how you became an author, all of those things go into it. It's all a part of your story or your
right,
journey. And I my husband would laugh because I've always had a difficult time when it comes to being able to sit down and read a book from front to back, or even just a portion of it. But when I
right.
have a conversation with, this will be like only my second conversation with an author, and I know your story, it makes me want to sit down and read it. It means that much more, you know?
Right.
So it's just a way for you to connect with people in a different way. And I have a very strong feeling that you're going to have some amazing feedback from parents all over saying thank you, or aunties or uncles or whatever it might be, because
Right.
human connection is so important. And there are so many things that are not taught in schools nowadays, that, like how you said, how to deal with something when it doesn't go your way.
Right.
That is a huge thing, because there's going to be a lot of different scenarios that our young generation deals with, that they don't like the outcome. They don't
And it's
like.
so many avenues. It's so many avenues nowadays.
Yep.
New
Yep.
avenues where they can learn different things. They have access to a lot of things we didn't have access to.
Yes.
And a thought that came to me the other day is just thinking out loud of people that read this book. They're going to start repeating these things, and these things, like when you do the repetition, this actually builds brain cells. It builds different things. It had different things in your brain happen, and
Yeah.
with a child that's 1 through 7, their brains are really developing. So to have a
Mhm.
child reading and saying these things at that age is going to be crazy beneficial for them.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Like things that are, and they don't cost anything. Like, if you take it like outside of the parent child relationship and just in general human interaction, telling somebody you are worthy or have a nice day or I care about you, those positive things that you put out there, they are so priceless. You really cannot put a price on any of those things. There's something that like I can remember, I'll never forget growing up with my parents. Um, we would always tell each other that we love each other. Just
Right,
all the time. And it has carried through to me in my adult life with my kids, with my husband. Just like I might not be very happy right now with you, but if you're leaving the house, I want you to know for a fact that I love you. Like, and sometimes people are like, oh, you don't have to say it. I want to say it. I want to say it. And I always wanted to reassure my son, because I was a single mom for a long time. I always wanted to reassure him that you are worthy, you are a king, and you got this. And there
right,
was a lot of times that we did things and it was just him and I. I'm very grateful for the fact that my dad, before I got married, that my dad was there to be that strong, like male role model for my son.
right,
But there's so many families that don't have that. They don't
right.
have, there might be both parents present, but there's a difference between being present and being involved and
Right. Most
speaking that
definitely.
positivity into your child's life. There's a huge difference, like night and day.
Yeah, and a lot of people were never taught emotional intelligence.
Yes, that's
There's a
so.
lot of things about emotional intelligence I didn't learn until I started taking these classes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I agree with you 100%. I actually had a mentor of mine. We used to meet weekly, and an old boss of mine, and he wasn't even a boss. He was a leader, and I say that because he, well, he led by example. But one of the things that he worked with me on was emotional intelligence, and it's not because he thought that I was this horrible person. He just knew that there were things that I could learn that would help propel me further on
Right,
along, not just in my career, but in my life in
right,
general. And I am so grateful to him for that. Because, and I will say this, in in the Black community, um, I know from my own dealings, there's some things that are not talked about. Emotional
right,
intelligence, anxiety, depression, those types of things, mental health. They're just kind of just not really something that is talked about. So to
right,
be able to be open and speak freely and encourage that is like my hat goes off to you. And because I feel like we need that. We definitely need that in the lives of our younger generation.
right. I mean, I could just imagine like having something like this or just being more emotional, intelligent growing up. I mean, your life would have been a whole lot different. There's a lot of times where I could go back and wish I could change something, a decision I made when you're upset. You can even make bad decisions when you're happy. It's just like managing your emotions are really
Yeah.
important.
Yep, that is. Yeah, yes. Took the words right out of my mouth. So we're gonna move on to, because I want to make sure that I am paying attention to the time because I can talk, Julius. I can I can talk. Let's go through, we talked about like the younger generation and things that maybe you and I didn't have when we were growing up, or people in our age range. Generational healing and legacy. Because, you talk about there's a lot of people that talk about leaving a legacy and making sure that like the financial side of it. there's so many other pieces, right? Because you could have all the money in the world, but if you don't have peace of mind and the emotional intelligence and know how to deal with situations, having all the money in the world is not going to matter. So some of the stuff that I talk about just in some of the other podcasts is just healing and a healing journey. So generational healing and a legacy. Strong roots, which is the title of your book. What does strong roots truly mean to you?
And the first thing that actually comes to my head, strong roots are strong roots that keep you grounded. And we should always stay grounded and balanced. And with strong roots, it's hard to pull that away from the ground. So, I mean, like I said, like just these are things that I wish I would have learned earlier. So many people are in the prisons right now from making bad decisions. So anything that we can do to make people more emotional, intelligent, to breathe, calm down. It didn't work the first time. It may work the second time. I mean, just those little things are really important, but you have to people buy into the negativity before they buy into the positivity. We're more quick to support hip hop and rappers, and we're making these people filthy rich.
I
So
know.
not only are they putting out a bad message, even if the kids don't like the message, they love the lifestyle. And this is all I have to do to get it. So it's so many angles that's pulling them. So if they don't have those strong roots, they're going to be easily to be pulled into whatever is out there for them.